to make another video.
Dots. Alright, write this down, please. For you good people at home, write this down too. Write down everything I put on the board. Everything I put on the board. Dot. D-O-T.
Hey, let me find the page first.
Dot. That is a dot. Right there. Dot. You got it written down?
Yes.
All right, we're going to define what the dot does to a note in music. It's a little bit tricky. Takes some math, multiplication, division, and so forth. Good. Dot. Now, what the dot does, we'll make a colon here, which is 2 dots. What the dot does is the dot increases the duration of a note by 1/2. Okay, so first let's define the word duration. D-U-R-A-T-I-O-N. Duration. Write this down, please. The D-U-R means length of time. Okay? Length of time. So we have T1, which stands for time 1, and then we have T2, time 2. We go from time 1 to time 2. Start, finish. S-T-A-R-T-F-I-N-I-S-H. Finish. Start, finish. That's the dir. Say dir.
Durr.
Right, so if I say, I'm recording. So if I say, during dinner, I had a good conversation. Well, then you say, oh, during dinner. It must have been from 5:30 to 6:15 because that's when dinner is dur. D-U-R. From start to finish. During some time. Okay? During, and the same dur that is in duration is in during. And T-I-O-N, what does T-I-O-N mean? Shun, or S-I-O-N. What does that mean? Lots of words end with shun. Some words begin with dur. Lots of words begin with shun. T-I-O-N. Do you know what that means?
No.
It's just short for function. Which means, do you know what function means? Doesn't mean we're having fun. It means to do something. Hopefully fun. Hopefully useful. To do some. I don't hear a pencil writing. Right? Take your pencil and write everything I write on the board. To do. This is the goal. To do something. You want to do well on the SATs? You can either memorize 5,000 words or 300 roots of words.
Do we have to write, is writing the time necessary?
You have to write everything I put on the board. That's the third time I said it. Write everything that's on the board. The people at home are writing down everything I put on the board. So we all write down everything I put on the board. Function, to do something. So if we take dur and shun, it literally means the function of when we start and when we finish. Or when we end. Finish really goes with the word begin. You begin and you finish. You start and you end. There you go. This is kind of like math. End. Right? In art class, some guy, when he would finish his painting, he would say, "Teacher, I'm done." And she would say, "You're not done. Art doesn't get done. Art gets finished. Steak gets done." Right? But that's just, reminds me of high school. Alright, so we're going to take the D-U-R and the T-I-O-N, put an A in the middle, and get the duration. Say duration.
Duration.
Yeah, good. Duration. Shun. We'll say it like a Marylander. Duration. So the duration means how long, for how long do you hold a note? Hope you got this.
I do.
The people at home can rewind. Duration. Alright, so let's write duration. For how long does a note sound? For sustain. Duration. For how long does a note sound? Did you write that down? Yes, no? Did you write that down?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, no, bite my toe. Is what my mom always says.
Duration. So, the dot. Let's come back to the dot. Now that we have the duration word and we can use that in a sentence. So, what's the duration of a quarter note? What's the duration of a quarter note?
Beat.
1 beat. What's the duration of a half note?
A half note.
What's the duration of a half note? You can't use a definition in its own, a word in its own definition.
2.
2 beats. Right, so the duration of a half note, if I put the note here, half note, name, half, rest, it looks like a hat because the word hat sounds like half, and then duration, it's 2 beats. Write this down. 2 beats. Now, it's not really a half note. It's only a half note when the meter is 4. When the meter is 3, it's a 2/3 note. But it still gets 2 beats. This is a quarter note. The rest looks like that. The duration is 1 beat.
I'm always bad at writing.
I'm gonna have to call an Egyptologist to interpret your handwriting. This is something the Pharaoh would write. All right, write that down. Y'all are having too much fun.
No.
We don't allow fun here. If you're having fun, your grade goes down. The more fun you have, your grade will proportionally go down. We're very serious here. Okay,
It's teaching fun.
so for what duration is a half note?
2 beats.
Right. For what duration is a quarter note?
Just 1 beat.
What duration is half of a quarter note?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Half a beat. It's tricky, yeah. So the dot, what does the dot do? Here we go. Here's what the dot will do. If I write a note and I put a dot to the side of the note, not above it, but to the side of the note, that dot changes the duration. The dot changes the length of time we hold the note. And in the music world, we don't use the word hold, we say sustain, from the Italian word sostenuto, which means to hold. So the dot extends, what does X mean?
Let's see.
What does X mean? To go out. X means to go out. To go out. We're using the English language for these definitions, so we have to understand what these words mean. What does 10 mean? T-E-N. 10.
The number.
Not the number. 10 comes from the Italian word tenere or tenore. I don't know how you say it. It means to hold. T-E-N. To hold. So Extend means to hold out, which is what we're doing. The dot extends a note duration by half the original duration or length of time. So if you take a quarter note, that's 1 beat. If you add a dot to the quarter note, the dot represents half the original duration. The original duration was 1 beat. So half of 1 beat is half a beat. Okay? But we extend the original duration by 1 beat. So we're going to add the original beat plus
Plus what?
plus the extension by the dot, half, and we're going to get, lo and behold, 1.5 beats. One and 1/2 beats. If we take a half note, how long is a half note? Somebody say it.
3 beats.
2 beats. A half note is not 3 beats. A half note's 2 beats. Okay? Close. 2. I know, you were counting the dot. The half note itself, without the dot, is 2 beats. Okay? 2 beats. If I add the dot right there to the half note, I'm going to extend the note by half the original duration. Has nothing to do with the quarter note. Quarter note's a separate issue. We have the half note, which is 2 beats. What's 2 divided in half?
1.
1.
Math is easy.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that. Math is easy.
History is easy. Science, English, not so much.
Math is just a combination of science, history, and English. Let's see, 2 beats plus, what's half the, so half the original duration would be 1 beat. Half of 2 is 1. So 2 plus 1 equals
3.
3. And this is the case for all note durations where you add a dot. You have to compute it. So a dotted half note is 3, which is 2 plus 1, beats. Now we won't get to dotted quarter notes until London Bridge, until we get to book 2 or 3 or something, I don't know. So a dotted half note is how many beats? What's the duration of a dotted half note?
3 beats.
3 beats. Excellent. So let's say the meter is 4. And the second number in the time signature, which is kind of useless, we don't even need it, we'll just cross it out, is 4. I will put a line right here. What is this line called right there?
The halfway mark.
I suppose you could call it that. It's called the bar line. B-A-R-L-I. It's only the halfway mark because we have 2 measures. I like how you think. This is bar 1 and this is bar 2. The bar line separates music into bars. Bar 1, bar 2. the meter is 4. The meter is the top number in the time signature. We learned that last week with the waltz and all. So if I write I could write, well, 2 half notes, and that's fine. And each half note would be 2 beats long. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, those are beats. Half note, half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. I played a G, but those are C's, so I played the wrong. There, that's the right note. Or let's say I put a dot after this half note. Well, how many beats is a dotted half note?
3.
3 beats. So we have to push this half note over. But if we do that,
Come
we
on,
end
half
up
note to the
with
garbage.
5. We end up with 5 beats in the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to turn this guy into a quarter note. And then we're good. So let's put the metronome on. One, 2, 3, 4. Now let's say we change the meter to 3. Remember, write down everything I'm saying. Write down everything I'm saying. You too, at home, write down everything.
You know, pointing is rude.
Okay, so it's rude, but I'm a conductor. So the conductor is the only person who's allowed to point as part of their job. I don't just go up to them in the mall and look at people and go, you! So, actually, sometimes I do. You need piano lessons. So if I change the meter to 3, how many beats are in this measure? Woo boy. The meter tells you the number of beats per measure. So that means there's 3 beats in the measure. 1, 2, 3. Now if I change the meter, I need to have a double bar line, which signifies a new section, or a key change, or a meter change. Okay, write that down, double bar line. Take your little ruler and write down a second line right there. Now, if I draw a dotted half note right here, what's the duration of that dotted half note? Spit out a number, quickly. It hasn't changed.
3.
3, yes. We changed it, well, it's a good hesitation. We changed the meter. We don't we don't squish this over and add some kind of, it doesn't work like that. There's no 8th note. Okay, so this is 3 beats. So we're going to extend, we're going to sustain this note for 3 beats. We don't just go to 3, we go to 1. We play through to 1 on the next measure. Kind of a weird one. Even though there is no next measure. Alright?
Why?
That's how long, let me teach. That's how long the note is. Okay? Right there. So a dotted half note gets 3 beats. Now you may say, okay, well when does a dotted half note not get 3 beats? And the answer is never. The dotted half note gets 3 beats. You might change the bottom number, but that's kind of like in Renaissance music when you get to college and some stuff like that. Don't worry about any of that. The dotted half note is 3 beats. So you don't really have to compute it. You could just memorize. You could just take this fancy calculation away and say the dotted half note equals 3 beats and just commit that to memory. Say, okay, I'm going to hold it for 3 beats. So that's what we're going to do. So take a look at the next page, number
23.
number 19, dotted waltz. It's page 23, number 19, dotted waltz. So let's go ahead and read this. Dots. A dot after a half note means you hold the note for 3 counts. In the book they say count, I say beat, because I like the beat. Alright, there's 2 words for everything in music. Treble clef, G clef, bar, measure, count, beat, etc., etc. A dot after a note means you hold the count for 3, after a half note means you hold the count for 3 beats. This note is called a dotted half note or a dotted minim. I don't know who calls it a dotted minim. Maybe 400 years ago in England. But it's called a dotted half note. So that's going to be the dotted half note. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's the dotted half note. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay, good. Very well.